stage manager, but if the stage manager could also be present early and involved in rehearsals, that would be a good thing as well. Which is the role of a professional stage manager instead of coming in at during dress rehearsals, which we've. But like I said, sometimes people are scarce, and we'll do what we can with what we got.
I have two kind of closely related questions.
Yeah.
I like the description of lights up Shakespeare unconceptually going close to the text. But I want to ask you to talk a little bit about the play as being hanging out in the woods, a little bit of distinction between kind of reality and fantasy in terms of larking. But I think that's really cute, actually. But so in your thoughts, kind of, what is this play about? I mean, it's a very talky play, kind of like Tempest in some ways.
Yeah.
But what's the play about? And sort of related to that, how do you sell this play? What's the imagery or the kind of thought that you stick into the poster art or the advertising copy?
Right. So, As You Like It has a lot of play around loyalty. It has a lot of play around entitlement with Orlando. It has a lot of play around identity, which most of your sort of cross-dressing Shakespearean comedies do. But it sort of mixes those. It sort of mixes those in, and actually, it's kind of weird in that it says, as long as you manage to make things come out all right in the end, it's okay to deceive a little bit, which is a bit of a strange message, but that's one that seems to be present. As for iconography, you might pick out poems on trees. I like. It's really about the people. So what I think fits most naturally on posters for As You Like It is photographs of the cast, which Rosalind, Orlando, possibly them together, hit a bit of the romantic element. Anyone else?
You seem to be going pretty minimal on as much as you can, focusing on what the words are saying.
Yeah, well, that's partially from the text and partially from my desire.
No, I like it. It's
As you like it. I didn't sit down and generate a props list as I read through it, but there's almost none.
You need a deer at one point.
You need some antlers.
I can provide that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I was hoping that someone would have easy access to antlers.
Several.
Yeah, you need a few hunting props. You need some food for Orlando to gobble down at some point. You'll need to dress up Orlando's arm in a bandage. But really, it's an extremely light play.
What do you do with Hymen?
It's a good question. I'm considering cutting Hymen. I am fairly convinced that it's actually Shakespeare, unlike, say, Hecate in the Scottish play, which I'm convinced is not Shakespeare. I think Hymen probably is, but I think it's really confusing and probably off-putting for modern audiences because it's just he goes from a comedy and he dips right into a romance there for just that one end of the scene. And I think I've looked at it, and I think it makes sense if you cut Hymen. Maybe we assign some of the famous lines from Hyman to Rosalind. But I'm strongly considering cutting that bit, along with some of the other sort of musical fantastic numbers.
We have this room at 7,
Okay, we can move over.
so take your time till then.
All right.
Take your time for the next 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
We'll move.
Okay.
We can move into the next room.
Okay. Well, before we do that, any other questions? Okay.
Do y'all have questions? Or?
Well, so yeah, that's my concept for As You Like It. I also did bring a couple of pitches that I had from last year, ending Cleopatra and Hamlet, in case y'all want to hear that, if you're
We'd love to.
interested.
We want to
We
relocate.
We will relocate.
We need to
and-
relocate.
Okay, well, we got,
Okay,
sure.
Well,
It's
just
a
easier
natural
to
breaking
relocate
point
before
now.
you start up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Unless you want to talk